Welcome back to another fantasy team update video with me, JD. I'm going to have to start with a bunch of apologies before we jump into this, but as always, we're going to keep the team updates rolling while the team is going strong. Get that hat throughout the end of the year, just document the last few weeks, but I'm still sick. Feels like I'm getting worse again, so apologies for the voice, apologies for coughing. We don't do edits. If you're new to the channel, we don't do edits. So if I'm coughing and I'm dying, you're joining the death party. And then secondly, the morning light here is actually shocking in this room for recording. So I've tried to fiddle around with the settings a little bit, but I'm still way too overexposed, which is, yeah. I mean, I guess this is the best form of overexposure. I'm not getting a 10K fine for running out the ground for it, but yeah, apologies. Not much to look at. But you're here for the team anyway, so look, doesn't matter this week. Whatever. Should be right. So I scored a 24.79, which I always forget how to look at the round ranks. But I think this was pretty good. I think this was right up there. Actually, do you know what will be the easiest way if I go into my history? So last week I had a pretty bad week, and I dropped spots from, I was something like 50 something, and I dropped to about 80th. So yeah, 5K round rank, dropped to 87 from, I don't know, whatever it was. 232 round rank. So you can see, like, I've had 4 of the last 5 weeks. I've had a top kind of 300 round rank here, including a 11th rank. This week could have been slightly better, except I scuffed my trades a touch, which I'll show you in a second. Hold on, what's this one? Oh, yeah, round ranking. It's right there. There you go. Noob. Absolute noob. So we'll just quickly go through the team, and then I think what I've got planned for next week, and that'll be it. But yeah, defense. I've got the Trinity, the Holy Trinity of Doherty, Dawson, and Sinclair, and they haven't been really outperforming over the last 3 weeks. I want to say you've kind of had this play where one of them's gone big. So this week it was Sinclair, and then the other two have kind of just been okay. So I don't think owning any individual one of them is that unique, although I have a feeling Sinclair's the lowest owned of 3, but having all 3 of them together is really nice. And I moved Sicily on a little while ago to get Doherty, which has been quite handy because he's had, a little bit of a down patch. So that's a nice little pot on the competition not having Sicily here. Short and Hewitt can both be moved on. Probably Hewitt of the two is the one I'd look at moving when Stewart comes back. If you have a look here, none of these scores have really been that bad apart from the 74. Like you said, 4 in the mid 90s or high 90s. But he hasn't tonned since round 11, which is a bit of a worry. Short with the 98. I thought he got 100. They must have taken a handball off him. Maybe that's Supercoach. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because he got the cut re-aggravated over his eye and he came off. So no more points for him in the last few minutes. His scoring hasn't been great either. But there's really not that many defensive options that you can go to. I mean, Redmond's been good, but probably more of a Supercoach pick. Brayshaw's been up and down. Withered's been up and down. Coming up and down. Crisp's been bad. Not having him's been a good pod. Yeah, look, four sub-tons in a row now. So after this long period of pain, and he's not looking particularly good. Dacos is obviously the one that's killing a bit. Like these last 3 games, man, 147. The people in the top 10 that have him on field, which I think is pretty gross. But yeah, Stewart when he comes back is the one that looked to get in for one of them. So that'll be next week. I think that'll be next week's trade. And then Himmelberg has been a very good pod. He's obviously had a couple of bad games. He had the one in the wet against the Hawks, which wasn't good from a fantasy perspective. And then Port do a good job restricting half-backs. But otherwise, his score's been very nice. So I think I'm happy to hold on to Harry for a little bit longer. Role seems secure now. They're even naming him in defence. Midfield's been definitely a strong point for me. So if we look at the trades this week, Oliver was forced out, got in Mills finally, which was probably the only one of the big dog mids I didn't have. And then we've got Whitfield being a forced change out for Gone. And obviously I did that through sending Harry Himmelberg back. And this is the trade I scuffed, by the way. Like, I was tossing up between Bailey Smith and Gone, and Bailey Smith was who I wanted to trade in. But I surveyed a bunch of people, and Gone was the answer I got, which it makes sense, right? Against Port with no ruck, you could see Gone having a really big, like 130, 140 game and kind of dominating, but it didn't end up happening. So yeah, that hurts a little bit. I lost 30-ish points there, which would have been a much better ranking than this again. So in the midfield, we've got everyone here, right? Oliver's the only one that I think I would want that isn't here. Obviously, McCluggage has been good, and Guthrie's been alright. Did he have a slightly worse game? He did. But yeah, I think I'm happy with this 8. And then Oliver's the only other one I want. Be actually interesting to figure out who of these you'd trade out for an Oliver. I think it'd be McRae or Neil. I don't think it'd be any of the others based on form and history. Dogs also have a pretty tough fixture. Like, I could see people, if you're trying to do really unique moves, get rid of McRae and Dunkley this week, just because of Dogs' fixture. But yeah, we had the VC on Rory Laird, which was very nice, but also very obvious. So I think a lot of people in the top 100 kind of had this. Apologies, no edits. So yeah, Mills very good on debut. Merritt's had like 3 high 120s, 130s games in a row now. He's been a very good pickup. He got him low 800s, and he'll probably be 900 next week. Took work through the tag right. Brayshaw was pretty average. He kind of salvaged his saw a little bit in the second half, but wasn't great. Oh wow, this lighting's getting even worse. It's amazing how bad that's gotten. Hold on, let me see if I can just adjust this on the fly. Still not really making it any better. Shocking. I actually need to get like light blocks or just not film in the mornings anymore, because that's terrible. Terrible. It's got to be the worst quality YouTube video ever with a cam of all time. All time. Don't film with natural light. Go to the basement. Yep. So yeah, midfield was good. I mean, the biggest problem, well, part of my problems is like this lack of bench cover, as you can see. Hasn't been great. Rucks. So English was bad. Got him for his 99 last week, and then yeah, this was not good. The Saints ruck matchup is always going to be a bad one, but he just looked not very good as well. Got Melbourne this week, who he scored okay on, like he turned against in round 1, and Gorn hasn't been in great form. So I don't know, maybe he'll be alright. Marvel Stadium's good too. They've got 3 of the last 5 at Marvel. Hawks round 23 is nice. GWS is nice. It's just these next 3 are a little bit tougher. Cats have been surprisingly good at restricting ruck scores as well. So yeah, I don't know. Not loving this pick as much as I was before. Yeah, gone. Should have been Bailey Smith. Is what it is. Hopefully he can bounce back against English. Like, just 70, 75, yuck. And then forwards, been pretty good. So, yeah, Cogs, a little bit of a down game. He's all right. Dunkley, a little bit of a down game as well. I think his CBAs are okay, which makes me not want to trade him. But had a bit of a ceiling game. Loved it. He looked very, very good. He's been a good pickup. Darcy Cameron was good as well. I think especially in the second half, he was very good. And then Taranto just at 85. This is a bit up and down this because he didn't start particularly well at all. And then Kelly obviously had a couple of things happen to him. He got slammed, which he had to go off, and then he got concussed later. And it seemed Taranto scored a bit better later, picked up some junk. So he's someone that I could see myself trading. But if Kelly's out for the week, which he should be with concussion, then maybe he's at least a 1 week hold. Carmichael I brought in before this North game at 190k, and I had the loophole on him. So once he scored the 111, I took Parker off. I would have taken him off for a 95, which would have cost me 2 points, but yeah, Parker had to work very hard for this 97. Very hard. Same thing every week. Tries very hard for a high 90 score. Okay, so team this week, 129k in the bank. I think the one that I really want to do is get Bailey Smith. So that'll be fixing last week's mistake. And then I think I'm going to get rid of Darcy Cameron. Grundy's coming back soon. I could also see myself just trading Gorn straight back out. Like, just losing a week's worth of trades to do that. I could see myself doing that. But maybe I just back in Gorn. I mean, most of the rucks were pretty bad this week. So yeah, Bailey Smith out. I think I'm going to trade Cameron. It's just he's been so good, and everyone else has been so bad. This is a tough decision. So this is one I'll be weighing up this week. Get rid of Darcy Cameron though, and then the forward option I do like is Moore. I need to check his CBAs, but he was good again with CBAs. So I think he stays there. Hawks runs pretty good home. So more for someone like Taranto I could see myself doing. But probably what's more likely is just shoring up my bench a bit more and getting someone like Owens out for Cully. Not a lot of money in it, but it does open up some DVP into the midfield. So yeah, there would something like that. There's slightly more money in Clark, but it doesn't open up any DPP in the midfield, which I've been dying for. Hopefully Cleary's not sub and actually gets a game this weekend. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I guess like the only big news this week is Josh Kelly and his injury. It's a little bit of a problem for me. It's the same thing with Oliver last week. Is these two injuries back to back has just made the mids look the same for everyone, because they're really only about 10, kind of 11 options if you want to include like Petrarca or Walsh, and everyone's going to end up on the same. LDU's been good again. He's been all right. But yeah, here's the team. It's just a quick update. Not much to talk about. Quick 10, 11-minute video. But yeah, that's everything. I mean, you can ask questions if you want. I'm definitely not a fantasy guru by any means. I'm kind of just going off my gut based on who's a good footballer and my Supercoach knowledge, which has helped so far. 116k left for next week, which is good because it can mean that I'll just get Stewart in really easily for one of these two. And if there's another injury, I'll be able to fix that up, I would say. No problems. Yeah, I don't know about trading Darcy Cameron out. That's the only thing that's a bit sketchy this week. I have to weigh out whether I want to actually hold Taranto, because Taranto is the one that could go. Or even Doug Cliff, I want to go Super Pod. But that's everything for this week. Thanks for joining me. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.